She pretty much summed up Ms. Lyles into the board. On behalf of the NAACP and the Calvin Hart president, I'm here to welcome Ms. Lyles because as I also read the article in the newspaper, we thought it was an open invitation and that the deal was already done. I was kind of put off a little bit to find out that you guys had a closed caucus in reference to the contract. And I wish before you went to closed caucus that the public had the opportunity to speak because Ms. Lyles, you did a great job. I heard every word you said. But there were still some things that wasn't touched upon as far as handling a budget as big as ours. You didn't talk about disciplinary actions because we know that was an issue in Delaware. You didn't talk about the special needs children in New York. They had a lawsuit in reference to not getting classroom time. They were actually allowed to sit in the auditorium and not have classroom instruction. Because we do have, it's unfortunate, we have two school systems in one. And there's certain children that are being targeted for disciplinary actions, and certain children are not. And so that's why it was kind of, and it was a little disenfranchising when you read the newspaper that you had this meeting at 11 o'clock, when you know most of the parents are out here working, struggling in this economy. You didn't give us the opportunity to really come together. You didn't give us a lot of information or time to come with more constructive concerns. And I'm hoping, like I had said before, I don't understand what is the rush. No one has yet to articulate that to the community. What is the rush about here? Because we're not going anywhere. Children are still being born. They're still coming in here. But to get back on topic, like I said, I don't want to repeat everything that Ms. Andrews said. The community is very upset about the process. The NAACP is still here as a partner in this community. Even though we do not agree with the process, we're still willing to pull up our sleeves and do the work that needs to be done. And we still are going to support anyone that wants to investigate and get to the bottom if we did it properly, because it doesn't make sense for us to invite you, get you acclimated, you start learning about our district, and then we have to do this all over again. And that was something also, you didn't even give us the parameters of when you went into closed caucus, are you guys going to do a 2-year contract, 1-year contract? Is there a portion of the contract where Ms. Lyles gets reevaluated, and it will it be an opportunity for the community to come back and find out if it's a fit or if it's not a fit? None of that was discussed with us today, and I'm just discouraged a little bit. I don't understand what exactly was this meeting today. Can you, I know, you still have some time. I don't mind if you answer me.
No, I think just because there is confusion over this, this was the first time the 9 board members actually sat in a room to discuss the contract. We are at the beginning of the process. We will be negotiating the contract now, the issues that you were talking about. We got some parameters today, and we have to have a public meeting when we come back. For this contract will have to be approved, and so all of the terms will become public, and I'll defer to Mr. Rivera to comment on it legally.
In terms of when we can disclose the public, the terms of the contract?
Just what we did today. So.
What we did today, we went into closed session to discuss the status of the contract negotiations over the specific contract, as well as go over the terms and conditions of employment. That information is confidential and appropriate for closed session because it deals with the contract. So it would not be appropriate for the board to disclose that to the public during the pendency of the negotiations. Once the contract is executed, then it does become a public document and would be something that would be available to the public.
Now, will you have an opportunity for the public to put in input about what we would like to see in the contract? Because we can always go by Dr. Epps' old contract that's still online. So we do have somewhere to start from, that we're not going to be just picking things randomly and saying we want in the contract. So I understand about Ms. Lyles' contract, but you have a contract that's already out there. We want to know, where's the public opinion period? When can we put in before you make that final decision while you're doing your negotiations? Will you give us at least 7 days to get a written response?
That's not a decision that I would make. That's something the board would have to decide.
Okay.
We're looking at standard contracts, though. We're not looking at anything, unusual.
Right.
And we have Dr. Epps' contract also.
Right, and like I said, there's something online, but if there's something in particular the community wants to see.
We'll talk, we'll talk about it. Thank you, and please thank Mr. Hart for allowing me to attend on his behalf today.
No problem.
Thank you. Susan Curry.